think for the youngsters. 5 singing boys from England who sold a lot of albums. They're called the Rolling Stones. I've been rolled while I was stoned myself, so I don't know what they're singing about, but here they are at.
I don't want to be no slave. I don't want to work all day. I don't want you to be true. I just want to make love to you, baby. Love to you, baby. Love to you, love to you. I can tell by the way that you sit and walk. I can see by the way that you live and talk. I can know by the way that you treat your man. I can love you, baby, till the cry chain. I don't want you to cook my bread. I don't want you to make my bed. I don't want you to be true. I just wanna make love to you, baby. Love to you, baby. Sweet love to you, baby. Love to you, baby. Love to you. I wanna make love to you.
Rolling Stones, aren't they great? Well, I'm going to let you in on something. You know all these singing groups today, you're under the impression they have long hair. Not true at all. It's an optical illusion. They just have low foreheads and high eyebrows. That's all.
If Dino had thought a little more, he wouldn't have been quite so flippant, you know. But then I don't blame him thinking about it now in 1963. At the time, it was like a deadly insult. All it did was, all those things, they only went to make us want to prove ourselves more, and like, so we'd come back and bite their head off, you know. That was all they did, was like steal you, you know, and that's what toughens you up.
We arrived at the airport. There was about 200 kids. Sort of wrecked the place, trying to get hold of us. Police everywhere, helmets flying, and it was just the same as normal. Oh, great to be home again. Smash, wallop, bang, crash. That was a place called the Kurhaus Theatre in Holland. It's a very nice sort of opera house sort of theatre. Tapestry on the walls, chandeliers, boxes, you know. And we went on there, played one song, and they just went nuts.
I mean, to walk on a stage and hear nothing except screams is just unbelievable, really, when you think about it. And to actually be involved in it, and you look round and it's Brian they're screaming at, and you just seen him in the lavatory before you go, you think, it was a ridiculous sort of thing, you know. Now you can put it down to, oh, it's show business and all that crap, but to actually walk on there and see girls fling themselves off balconies, I mean, it was amazing. But once the curtain was drawn, but I've always been like that, you know. Once the curtain's drawn, I like to go away from that. And in those days, you couldn't do it.
There's always that thing about all entertainers were supposed to show a good example, and so you were refused to eat in restaurants. You were turned out of pubs if you went in there for a drink. that silly garage incident in Romford was a typical example. And we stopped there just to use a bathroom. And I asked him, and he immediately got very uptight and said, there's no toilet, you can't use one. And so in the end, we went out of the garage, we went down the side road and just went up against the wall, you know? Next thing, we had a arrest. We had to go to court, and we were accused of urinating all over the forecourt of the garage, swearing, abuse, and everything. And even the judge only fined us like £5 each or something silly, you know.
At the beginning of all this, in the early 60s, nobody took the music seriously. It was the image that counted. You know, very hip to image and how to manipulate the press, you know, and dream up a few headlines. You know, a lot of PR went into it, a lot of it, you know, without consciously trying to make it. Was just like, what move do we make today? What do we do today? You know, come on, Andrew, let's dream up a gig, you know, some gag.
You know, I think it was Andrew's one, you know, would you let your daughter marry a Rolling Stone and all this sort of thing. I think that was all Andrew. Just cultivating the bad moments. I mean, we used to do things like go to hospitals and visit sick children and all that, but that would be very minor played up, wouldn't be played up by Andrew. The sort of, the other aspects would. No, he always made sure that we were as violent and as nasty as possible.
The Rolling Stones have just landed here in New York for their second U.S. tour. The group has steadily gained in popularity since their first visit to America 5 months ago. In addition to their concert tour, they will appear Sunday night on The Ed Sullivan Show.
America's the greatest country in the world to be popular in or whatever, because it's on such a vast level over here. For adulation, it's wonderful, you know, and if you believe it, you'd be the most dreadful person in the world. But I mean, it is amazing.
Who do you prefer, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
I think that the Rolling Stones have a lot more sex appeal than the Beatles do. And I think when the Rolling Stones are performing on stage, there's a lot more excitement coming through to the audience than when the Beatles are performing. I think the greatest, they dress different, and the best things that ever happens in the United States.
Why do you like the Rolling Stones?
Because Keith is beautiful, and they're great, and because they're so ugly that they're appealing.
Here's the first appearance of the Rolling Stones.
Is on my side. Yes, it is. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Now you always say that you want to be free, but you come running back. You come running back. You come running back to me. Is on my side. Yes, it is. I said time is on my side. Yes, it is. You're searching for good time, but just wait and see. You come running back. You come running back. You come running back.
America was like a sort of fairyland, do you know what I mean? And once I get to the Astor Hotel, it becomes a blur on that very same day, because we just went berserk. First, cab to Harlem. I mean, to us, it was like an honor to be allowed into this inner sanctum of soul.
Baby, you know I love you, and all I want are you to come on and hug
now been on your second tour of the United States for 2 weeks. How was it? 3 weeks, excuse me.
3 weeks, yes. It was very enjoyable. Most enjoyable, yes. Very successful, too.
Well, now, that was not true of the first one, was it?
Oh, no. But we only came over here on the first one so that we could get ourselves known, so to speak. And then when we went back, things started happening for us.
Well, why did they start happening?
I don't really know. Something sort of chemical reaction seemed to have happened somewhere.
What would you say happened?
I really don't know, honestly.
No,
Press relationship seemed to be much better over it.
Well, do you think that perhaps the general public started getting maybe a little bit tired of the Beatles and looked for something new?
No, I don't know about that. What could you say to a thing like that? Yes, I suppose so, perhaps.
You've been number 2, I believe, to the Beatles, but you're catching up fast, I'm told.
In America, you mean?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
What about in England?
Well, we're number 1.
You're number 1 in England?
Yeah. We have been, you know, for about 6 months.
We were asked to do Shindig. Jack Good was from England, and he'd done really successful TV shows in England. And he asked us if we wanted any special guests on, so we asked if we could get Howlin' Wolf.
Tell us something about him, Brian.
Well, when we first started playing together, we started playing because we wanted to play rhythm and blues, and Howlin' Wolf was one of our greatest idols, and it's a great pleasure to find he's been booked on this show tonight. It really is a pleasure.
Thanks to Howlin' Jack Wood.
So I think it's about time you shut up and we had Howlin' Wolf on stage.
Yeah,
How many more years till I have to let you dog me around? How many more years till I have to let you dog me around? I would rather be dead, sleeping 6 feet at the ground.
It was Andrew that pointed out to us that if we didn't start finding a source of new material, that this thing wouldn't last, because how long could you cover other people's, or how many obscure great songs are you going to find? And so for me, definitely the greatest contribution Andrew ever did was lock Mick and me in the kitchen for a day and a night and say, I'm not letting you out until you've got a song.
The more you get involved in it, the more creatively satisfying it is. Especially if if you're playing and singing all your own songs. For me, it's people say, "How do you remember all those words?" I'd say, "Well, I wrote them all. I wrote them so I don't have to remember them."
Mick and I learned really quickly. In retrospect, it seemed a long time at the time to be able to sort of, do we have the balls to give this to the rest of the boys to play? Until we came up with the last time. And we said, yeah, this one we won't be ashamed of giving to the rest of the Stones to say, let's try this for a single.
I told you once and I told you twice. Don't want to have to pay the price. Here's the chance to change your mind. I'll be gone a long, long time. Well, this could be the last time. This could be the last time. Maybe the last time. I don't know. Oh no.
When it really took off was about the middle of the 60s, 65, and I think that there were 2 or 3 glorious years where it was just so exciting to be a part of it. I mean, you just couldn't help but have fun. If you went out on the King's Road on a Saturday afternoon, there was a sort of a shared feeling that you were in the right place at the right time.
Sitting home
It was happening in every field, in fashion, photography, acting, playwriting, music, and it all came to a head at the same time in London. So the Stones were a part of the whole thing. It wasn't just the music.